I thought you people picked on old ladies and kids with purple hair.
Well, I'm sure you'll be comfortable in here, sir. Sorry about the aroma, but I don't think your roommate believes in soap and water. Mind you, maybe it's not all coming from him, eh?
Bloody smart, aren't you, eh? Just give me 5 minutes alone with you, friend. I'd sort you out.
Gurney?
What?
Sean bleeding Gurney? Well, well, well. Always a right monkey, this one. Comes from a very naughty family. What's with the Hells Angel stuff, then, Sean? Last time I saw you, you was debt collecting for the Finch gang down Tottenham, eh?
Desmond Turner here, sir. But something rather odd's just happened, and I'd welcome your guidance.
Please, if you'd like to take your seats now, I'd appreciate it, please.
I'm here on behalf of the Union Atlantic Banking Corporation.
Swell of them to take an interest.
They are, as you can imagine, intrigued to learn how you managed to swindle them out of $2.5 million. Oh, you're a tricky pot, Greenstein, but nobody hides from STG for long. If we leave here now without any fuss, my clients are prepared to come to some sort of accommodation if there's any chance of recouping the said Missoula.
We're ready for the benediction, Reverend Dr. Kenyon.
Why, thank you. Excuse me. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today.
You had a word with Chummer yet?
As soon as I've repaired the damage to me hardy annuals. Sense of proportions, Millie.
Sarge, come quick.
Bango's a quiet weekend.
What about him?
We'll shove him in the interview room.
Is that in order, Sarge?
Well, you don't know nothing. The shock of waking up to a croaker hanging there might kill him. Now, look, ring the duty inspector at division and put the process in motion, right? Then ring Dr. Fulton, get him over here. He'll be watching the racing.
Sarge?
Oh, I don't know. When he sobers up, I want a statement from him, for what it's worth. Come on, then. Let's move him. You take the feet, eh?
Okay, Greenstein, I said. I got your bang to rights. Now pops this natty little geezer. Reverend Dr. Kenyon, he says. We're ready for the bleeding benediction.
I suppose we can't win them all, George.
I was so sure it was, Greenstein. Ah, you've got a list to the right, my friend.
Customer. This must be Greek Pete.
As ever was. How do you know?
Perhaps we should keep a gun, George.
I loathe and abominate them.
Got a set clock, have you, Ma?
My boy's dead. The youngest.
I'm sorry to hear that.
He wasn't a nice boy, Knuckles.
Yeah, I know that, Ma.
Not your sort of person. But he was my boy.
What happened?
He was
Would you like to sit down?
found hanging in a Poncy country nick. Now ain't that a scream, Bullman, when hanging's been abolished these 20 years since?
What, Nick?
My boy was murdered, Knuckles. I want you to go after him.
I don't know.
Pete, take McGinty's girl for a ride in the motor.
Mom.
I'll be all right. I want to talk private.
Come on, Ma.
Who customised your roller, Pete?
Sean would never have topped himself, Mr. Bullman. He was a good Catholic.
I heard he turned professional killer. How did he square that with his religion?
Oh, he reckoned he could get absolution for that. But taking his own life, that's the road to purgatory. Besides, he had everything going for him. Some good business contacts.
Who?
I don't rightly know.
What was he in for?
Serious assault, criminal damage, driving a nicked motorbike.
Yeah, small beer for Sean.
It was his Saturday off.
Good day to you, sir. I wonder if you could be so kind as to direct me to the local Nick.
Well, bless my soul. Robert Figure, Squire.
Hello, Gov. What brings you to this neck of the woods?
How's the war wound?
Hardly a twinge.
I heard there was a bullet still in.
Fragment. Yeah, it's under the collarbone. Can't say I'm aware of it, really. So, you here on business?
No, I've left the Met.
Yeah, I heard. Private eye now. How's trading?
Fact is, I'm here about Sean Gurney.
Oh, that's it, is it?
Yeah, that's it.
Well, coroner's report will be ready Thursday. Time of death, 4:26, Saturday the 19th. Deceased was a prisoner in my care. Standard death in cell procedure is now underway, and any further inquiries to my divisional officer.
Bob, I've been retained to represent the family.
I'd never have thought you'd sink so low.
They're entitled to justice.
I know what bloody justice I'd give them.
And did you?
Get out of my neck.
I apologise.
Get out, George.
No, Bob, I apologise. Sorry, I'm out of order.
George?
I was out of order. You're there and I'm here, but I'm the Gurney family advisor. They're legally entitled.
I never would have reckoned you as a villain's friend.
Neither am I. But they're under some reporter with a promiscuous bleeding checkbook if they don't feel they've had a fair crack of the whip.
Meaning?
Ma Gurney wants me to find out if her naughty boy really did do himself in.
That's all?
Yeah. What else should there be? What did he use?
His bleeding shirt.
Material?
Cotton rayon mix.
Yeah. And he'd have been in here alone.
No, we had a vagrant. Blot out throughout. His statements were division.
Where's he now?
Fined £5, 10:30 this morning. Free as the air by now. Probably out of his head on meths by this time.
Yeah, but he'd have mentioned it in court.
What?
Well, unless a Boeing 747 crash landed on the pavement outside, I reckon this suicide must have been the biggest event in his weekend.
He didn't know about it. Look, when he woke up after his blind, we took a statement from him, right? Asked him if he'd been aware of the prisoner, like. Answer's negative. It wasn't a big thing for him.
Well, it is with Ma Gurney. This incident. What was it?
Slight altercation with a commercial traveller, nothing much.
I heard it was a serious assault, criminal damage, nothing much.
Look, George, I didn't like Sean Gurney. You know, when I was in the squad, he was shivving squealers up west for a couple of beers, hey?
Yeah, I know. It's all grief, Robert. So this incident, just a scuffle, was it?
Yeah, a bit of a dust-up. Two of my boys broke it up and ran him in.
And the other citizen, was he charged?
No, he was the injured party.
Oh, injured? Oh.
Well, figuratively speaking, Gurney smashed a couple of windows in his motor, right? So Chummy sticks one on him. Gurney draws a Matilda on him and does the business. Like.
And this John citizen survived?
Yeah, because my officers went to his aid.
What's the victim's name?
Dawson.
Can I see the accountant's book?
I'll have to ask Division, George.
Bob, do us a favour. It's bad enough being a private eye having to take naff jobs from villains' families without having to take stick from old colleagues.
Look, you give me your word you'll not communicate any of these details to your clients, yeah? Well, if it's any help, help yourself.
Right, thanks. Nicked at 2:15, locked up at 2:35. Victim statements completed 2:50. It says here the arresting officer went as a result of a call.
Yeah, the filling station manager rang the Nick. He saw some sort of argument, you know, in the forecourt, and then saw the motorbike dicing with Dawson as they was leaving town.
All right. How do I find this Dawson P?
Not from me.
Mr. Turner, sir.
One moment, please. I hate to stop in the middle. It puts one off from the entire day, don't you think? Absolutely. Now, are you all right?
I live.
Rum business is, isn't it?
Oh, thank you for coming all the way up to the police station on your weekend.
Oh, my dear boy, you're my one last surviving investigating officer on Poltergeist. I mean, one fatal car crash, one fatal fall from a great height. My word, my word. We are obliged to take care of you.
Oh, I'm sorry I gave my real name to the police. Must have caused problems.
Well, I spoke to SB, and the original page of the accounts book at Chingley Police Station has been deleted and a fresh one reinserted. And you are now recorded as one Philip Dawson. And should anyone wish a Philip Dawson to be produced in court or at the inquest, the department will provide a personable young man for the purpose. Now, you're still of the opinion, are you, that this Sean Gurney person was attempting to kill you?
Yes, no doubt.
Well, now, that would have made the three of you.
Indeed.
Well, would you like to be taken off Poltergeist?
Absolutely not.
Well, in that case, I'm having you moved to a safe house for the duration.
What a bore.
Not at all, not at all. I think Poltergeist is worth it. And clearly, so do the other side.
Oh, yes. I remember it most clearly. The person on the Suzuki motorcycle was a terrible aggressive chap. Indeed, I was worried about the safety of the person in the car. And also for other road users.
That's very public-spirited of you, sir. Now, can you by any chance remember the registration number of the car?
Unfortunately not. I am so sorry.
Well, did he purchase any petrol?
Of course. We are being a petrol station.
How did he pay?
Let me see. Barclay card. The person with the S card paid for 7.73 gallons with his Barclay card. Pump number 3.
Have you sent off the Barclay card stubs yet?
No, I do this once a week only.
Well, can I see them?
This is not regular. Are you a policeman?
23 years ago, I joined the Metropolitan Police. 21 years with the CID. 14 commendations.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, Barclay card.
No. Can't see any for Dawson.
Sometimes they're company cards. Look for the petrol sale. 7.73 gallons. I always enter the details. My father was a railway clerk in Calcutta.
Well, God bless his cotton doty.
Turner. Desmond William Turner.
Not Dawson Philip.
And another thing.
What?
The occurrence book had a new page 193.
How could you tell?
Because I've done the same sort of thing myself.
Yes?
Mr. Desmond Turner.
Who are you?
I'm an inquiry agent, sir. Ex-Detective Chief Inspector BULMAN, Metropolitan CID. I'm conducting an investigation, sir, and your name has cropped up.
Where?
Oh, in the course of my investigation, sir. But it shouldn't take more than a minute to sort out.
I'm in rather a rush this evening. Perhaps you could come back tomorrow about the same time?
It's about your motor, sir. It was involved in an accident on Saturday.
I don't think so.
And I believe a friend of yours was involved, a Mr. Philip Dawson.
Ah, yes. He sometimes borrows my car.
And where is that now, sir, exactly?
Actually, Mr. Dawson has it.
What, since Saturday?
Friday.
I wonder if you could tell me where I might find him.
He's touring.
Not in your car, I don't think.
Why not?
Well, the windscreen was smashed.
Well, I'm sure Philip will have no trouble getting it fixed.
A resourceful bloke, is he?
Very.
Some nasty bruises you got there, sir.
They can be catching, Mr. BULMAN. Good night.
Just off, are we, sir?
Well, Mr. Turner D, let's see if anyone at Chingley remembers you.
Police Sergeant Fig, please. I'm most terribly sorry. I cannot say I'm knowing this man.
Is this the man who was driving the car?
So many people are passing through.
Look, my job is to get to the truth of what happened here last Saturday. You look like an honest man, Jamsit Alam.
Thank you. But you're not a policeman.
I was.
You misled me, sir.
I am a former policeman. I'm now an inquiry agent with the rights that every citizen has to conduct an inquiry.
You lied to me.
No, Jamsit, I use words which were neither the entire truth nor a complete lie, just as you did when you said to me, I cannot say that I am knowing this man. Hello, Bob. Run out of fags, have we?
Is this the man?
Well,
Mr. Raylam, we don't like time wasters.
yes, but he has explained.
Thank you. George BULMAN, I'm arresting you for impersonating a police officer.
Come on, Bob.
You are not
out.
obliged.
Look, you never make this stick, you know.
You are not obliged to say anything, but anything you do say will be written down and used in evidence.
I blame society.
Get in the car.
Mr. BULMAN, I am sorry.
It's all right. You're an honest man, Jamsit. No grudges, right?
I hope.
George, out.
I was right, though, wasn't I?
Yes, it was he.
It's a fair cop.
What is the score here, Bob? Practical joke, is it?
George, you broke the law.
And we better leave that to the beak.
Impersonating a police officer's a grave offence. You should go down the steps of a pontoon.
You don't really believe that?
I'll have to report I've nicked you, George. So far, there's nothing on the charge sheet. Now, I could advise Division that this filling station manager's not too happy with his original complaint.
In the meantime, I'd like to make a phone call.
Leave it out, George. We'll look after you.
Yeah, well, the last bloke you had in here didn't exactly stay to tea, did he?
So one phone call, for old time's sake.
You're burning your boats, George.
I've nowhere to sail back to, Robert.
Tennis shoes with 2 green stripes.
Too dark to tell.
For my money, it's the same man.
And who's that?
Lucy McGinty, Watson to Bulman's Homes.
More like the blue bottle to his Moriarty, if you ask me.
He's doing all right. Didn't take him long to get to me. Or get my picture.
That filling station was a gap you left unplugged, Desmond.
There are times in this job when one is abruptly abandoned by the first person plural.
Too bloody true, dear boy. And where is Detective Chief Inspector Bulman right now, may I ask?
He's in a cell at Chingley Police Station.
You must make me laugh while I'm eating grapes.
Is that you, Ma? Look, I've got a bit of aggravation and I need someone to bail me out. Yeah, well, I am in, Nick, actually. I don't think it's all that bleeding funny.
So, forgetting dear old George for a moment, this vagrant is probably the character who was in a prison cell with the late Seamus Gurney.
Sean, sir.
Oh, yes, quite. Do you, by any chance, have a picture of Comrade Major Pyotr Alexandrovich Yuzakov in your carousel?
It's the same comrade.
Did he get his hands wet?
Oh, it's part of his job. Department V trained, Section 9 sanction.
Why don't we have something like that? It would save HMG an unconscionable amount of trouble.
Unconscionable's the word. And you'd resign.
Oh, dear, how tedious. To be accused of civilized attitudes of my age. Reckless maturity is my watchword, dear boy.
So, if Yasakov was the vagrant in Gurney's cell, then Yasakov murdered Gurney.
It was hard to murder you, and we all want to know what I want you dead.
Operation Poltergeist.
The next detective, Chief Inspector Bulman, is now unraveling this delicate skein.
Like a kitten with a ball of wool.
Some kitten.
Some wool.
I ain't had a bundle of laughs in my life, Knuckles. But bailing you out of that Nick's got to be in the top bleeding 10.
Very funny. Strange I managed to stay out of the nick all these years, and 2 days after rubbing shoulders with you, I'm in the ruddy slammer.
What about my Sean, Bulman? That's the rub.
It's too early to say.
But something smells, doesn't it?
Maybe. What sort of villainy was your Sean into?
Sean was director of my adult cinema and my video retail shops.
All stroppings. Look, unless you're going to brief me properly, I'm wasting my time and your shekels.
Pete, what do you think?
When the lamb drinks spilt wine, all virgins must lock their shoes up.
What did he say?
He said, when the lamb drinks spilt wine, all virgins must lock their shoes up.
Yeah, I thought he did.
He must have got it wrong.
Yeah. So, tell me.
My Sean was engaged in secret work for the government.
You jest.
When the seagull flies in the clockwise direction...
Shut up!
Oh, cell death by hanging's not uncommon, but on closer examination, what do I find?
What do you find, Liz?
Death was due to heart failure caused by shock and small round bruise over the vagus nerve.
Meaning?
Strangulation, which this man died from, can be of 3 types. Pulmonary, where the brain is denied air, sanguinary, where the brain is denied blood, and nervous, where a shock is applied to the nervous system via, amongst others, the vagus nerve. Here.
And that could not have been caused by the shirt around his neck?
Ah, murder. Both thee and love together are not spurious, and bring to man's travails an urgency which was not here anon. Who'd have thought of it, Lucy, eh? Private eyes getting involved in a murder case. It's almost unheard of.
OK, Batman, who done it?
Well, either the good Sergeant Fig or, this geezer.
The vagrant. Thought he was legless throughout.
Yeah, that's what Sergeant Fig said.
I put lots of vinegar and no salt.
Oh, hey.
Now let's see. Why would this vagrant kill Sean Gurney?
Well, Sean was an aggressive bugger. Maybe he bit off more than he could chew.
And he'd just been in a, quote, serious fight.
Yeah, that Turner's a tasty geezer.
MI5.
Yeah, well, some such funny business, you know.
And Ma Gurney claims Sean was hired by British intelligence.
Yeah, for what? Soggy chips, I love them. For what?
Well, isn't there somebody you could ask? I mean, you did 4 years with Special Branch.
Yeah, when the BULMAN star was in the ascendant. Now you come to mention it.
Well, well, well. Mr. Dugdale. Or is it Sir William by now?
My dear boy, if I'd asked myself, who on the face of God's earth am I least expecting to see today, the name Bulford G would have certainly been near the top of that list.
BULMAN, sir.
Ah, BULMAN, sorry.
And I have left the Met.
No, you haven't, have you really? My word. Now, have the personnel department at New Scotland Yard totally lost control of their senses? And, resigned to, not just ushered out, huh?
You did know, sir.
Ah, yes. Well, I had to initial some release or other.
And also, you know why I asked for today's meet.
Didn't you run off with Jack Lambie's wife, you old stag, you?
She'd already left him, sir. She was a free agent.
Well, now, are you happy together?
She decided to take a job in the West Country. Headmistress of some girls' school.
Oh, sic transit gloria mundi.
Viscare fortes ante Agamemnon.
Don't tell me the Open University continues to benefit from your studies.
I've changed my syllabus to include ethics and English literature.
Good. Good for you. Now, Turner.
What?
Desmond Turner, one of my young executives. Now, you're here to ask me why one Sean Gurney, deceased, tried to kill Desmond Turner, and secondly, why a vagrant with green stripes down his plimsoll should then murder Citizen Gurney.
I didn't know about the green stripes.
And thus the returning arrow comes to roost, and all things in their good time come to pass. Mr. BULMAN, I've been less than frank with you. Yuzakov, Pyotr Alexandrovich, Comrade Major, KGB. He is in England helping this person. S.G. Hernandez, Cuban-born, age 43, educated at Havana, Cambridge, Paris, Patrice Lumumba.
Moscow.
And now Hernandez is a full colonel in the Cuban DGI, little cousin to the Soviet GRU, and that's,
Ravnoya, Ravanoya, Pravanoya,
Yeah.
Russian military intelligence.
Comrade Colonel Hernandez has been running a very smart little operation in this country. He has been for some time. With Yuzakov as backup.
Presumably, this Yazikov is the A line F man.
That's right, yeah, the killers. But nowadays we call them Department V. Night, Shiner. Right. Right now. Now. Now, glance through this while I brief you.
Now, hang on, wait a minute.
What?
Well, I must tell you, I am retained by Mrs. Rose Ann Gurney to...
My dear Sergeant Bulford. I know that. I don't act already, monkey. If you didn't enjoy the life, you wouldn't have fetched up here in my office in the first place, now would you? All right, I'll read it. Now, Hernandez and Uzakov speak perfect English, accentless and in no way foreign. They move into an office in, say, Whitehall, with a month's rent paid in advance, and they use it for one day only, usually the mornings. And their agents then trail the universities, the armed forces, the civil service, and the technical industries for talent.
Traitors, fellow travelers.
No. Au contraire, patriots, highly discreet, unimaginative, and mildly egotistical.
The old, long, firm sting. It's beautiful. The Cuban and the vagrant set themselves up as big noises in British intelligence. They swear their marks so that they're recruits to eternal secrecy and recruit them as loyal and patriotic operatives of what they probably describe as a government secret organisation. So secret, in fact, that 5 and 6 had never heard of them. Then said recruits go back to their jobs and relay back information to what they fondly imagine is their own secret service, whilst all the time it's the Russian. Yeah, you gotta hand it to them.
Yes, George. Now, George, how would you like to work with me on this one?
In what capacity, sir?
As bait, dear boy. As bait. The last one died. Hi, George.
Well, good afternoon, sir. Ah, Mr. Bullman.
Now, George, this is what we call a safe house. It's also what we call a control center. Sometimes the two are combined. Abroad, it's a bit more difficult, but very important.
Yes, sir, I do recall the system, Mr. Dugdale,
Yes.
sir.
That's right. Well, call me Bill, please. Now, Desmond here has control of our operation to counter comrades Hernandez and Uzakov. Their op is called Ghosts by the Kremlin. We call ours Poltergeist.
Welcome to the madhouse.
Right. Now, I'll leave you together. I just spotted a Charles Umbridge euphonium in a junk shop in Kilburn. I must just find out how much they want for it.
Ciao.
Arrivederci.
All right, well, Desmond, take care of you. Thank you, George. Thank you. And George, adios.
Right, George. Now, of villains. Hernandez, alias Whittingbane, lives in the Republic of Ireland under yet another name, using the cover of a retired Canadian antiques dealer. Now, tomorrow, the good comrade will be at number 29 College Street, just behind Westminster Abbey. There, KGB agents will bring in 3 marks who believe they're being recruited into British intelligence for Hernandez to do the stuff.
Where do I fit in?
You'll be one of them.
What?
Now, I've placed, and this is top secret, George, an officer of this service into the group of fellow travelers Hernandez uses as talent spotters. This officer has told the controller of Ghost all about you. Your contract with Margurney to find a son's killer and the fact that your inquiries have brought you to me.
Terrific. What is the aim of putting me in the Viper's bosom?
Nest.
Pardon?
Nest. Viper's nest. Or a viper to one's bosom.
You see it yourself.
Well, the aim is to try and coax them into accepting you as a controllable quantity. That way, we'll have feedback for all time.
What about Yuzakov, the vagrant?
What about him?
Well, he is a murderer, Desmond. I assume that when I've got enough collateral, that's to say evidence, it'll be nicked.
Yes. Well, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Now, method of contact. Dial 377.
Can I reverse the charges? We're into treason, you know, spy that came in with a cold, all that sort of thing.
Sean really was with the funny people.
Yeah, but not ours.
Oh?
But he thought they were.
I see.
Not that he'd have given us stuff either way, little ponce.
So who stopped him?
Vagrant. Very tasty tramp with a Moscow surname.
I clocked a vegan. A wino on my way out from Turner's garage.
Haven't you noticed his feet?
Plum soles with green stripes. Is it the same bloke?
The naked civil servants seem to think so.
So they're on top of it.
In a way.
Then why so gloomy?
Because a murder's been committed. Unless I'm very swift, the villain's gonna get away with it as part of some package deal in the great game. I can smell it.
Yes.
I've come about the war, but I've come to see Mr. Whittingbane.
Mrs. Whittingbane. It's Mr. BULMAN, isn't it?
Yes, thank you.
So where's he now?
He should be there by now.
Is he wired for sound?
We couldn't take the risk. They'd kill him in Scarpa.
Well, we could arrest him and charge him with murder.
I sometimes wonder when you're joking.
Not often, dear boy, not often. How many watches have you got in the vicinity?
My usual team.
So, if anything goes wrong, we can wade in, yeah?
We have no power. Special branch are not in on this.
Well, so BULMAN is entirely on his own, eh?
Very much so.
Do you know why you're here?
Well, somebody said something about national security. I was asked if I would like to play my part.
And would you wish to make a contribution to the security of the realm?
Oh, I'd be proud to, ma'am, but I don't quite know how I can.
You've heard, no doubt, of 5-6, the special branch.
Yes, actually, ma'am, I did serve with the branch when...
Your star was in the ascendant.
Yes.
Have you ever wondered if the national security effort ended with all those outfits one reads so much about?
No, I hadn't given it much thought, no.
Well, there is BULMAN, a small, tight-knit group of people for whom patriotism is the watchword and discretion the law. A group upon whose shoulders the liberty of each individual citizen is carried.
A heavy burden.
I beg your pardon?
A heavy burden, Mrs. Whittingbane.
Yes, indeed. Would you please read that and sign it?
Ah, yes, official secrets, yeah.
I understand you signed it in March when you left the Met. This will just cover this morning's meeting and any possible developments.
Thank you.
Good man. We are currently investigating a possible Soviet agent in one of Her Majesty's clandestine organizations.
A mole.
His name is Turner. Desmond Arthur Turner.
Turner? Oh, no, I can't believe it.
No one knows of this department's existence, but we do not make mistakes, Mr. Bullman. Turner was the driver of a vehicle in which he attempted to knock down one of my agents.
Sean Gurney.
Gurney, an East End villain, scum of the earth, as you know, knowing his family.
A nasty finger.
But we sometimes have to use people like that. Turner is a very dangerous man, Mr. Bullman, and I believe you are in fairly constant contact with him and his superior, Clarence William Dugdale. Tell me, George, has Turner ever mentioned to you a Soviet operation codenamed Ghost?
No.
If he does, I'd like to hear.
Right.
It's the oldest game in the book, Poisoning the Well. That's what Ghost is about. Pure fabrication on Turner's part. I am aware of your work on the Sean Gurney death.
He was murdered.
However, it is not in the interest of anyone to put that information into the hands of an aging female boss of the underworld. For the moment, your twin tasks will be report on Turner, his movements, his exact location, and Dugdale, and allay the suspicions of the late Sean Gurney's harridan mother.
How do we make contact?
I think we will use the vagrant.
Who is he?
An officer of this most secret department, old boy. When you need to make contact with us, you will leave a packet of Rothman cigarettes with 3 Marlboro cigarettes inside.
Where?
Down in the docks, Saragossa Street, the footbridge. Got it?
You might have told me Whitting Bain was a woman.
What possible difference could that have made?
I've been thinking. Maybe you're the bad guys, and Whitting Bain the genuine article.
That convincing, was it?
She gave the impression she could phone the PM any time.
Oh. It's more than I can do.
You know, they've even insured me for 50 grand, and I get 200 quid a week in Reddy's.
My dear boy, I might very well be tempted to join you.
Where is this?
Oh. A stop for a think. How long have we known each other?
Oh, goes back a bit now, sir. For a few years.
You sorry you left the Met?
I feel unsettled. I suppose I don't really know who I am yet.
And young Lucy, does she know about us?
No.
Oh, discretion, eh?
Well, actually, sir, Bill, it's against the law.
And the law's very important to you, isn't it?
If we tore down all the laws, where would we hide from the devil? In the winds that would blow then.
Ah, Thomas More. But these winds are blowing, George. Eh?
All the more need for laws.
All the more need for laws. I guess you'd say that. And why'd you agree to work for me?
Just this once.
Just this one.
Well, a murder's been committed. A woman has been robbed of her son.
Oh, one hell of a hypocrite, George.
Of course. That's what keeps me going.
But aren't you afraid that I might lean on the law to keep the murder in play? I mean, the devil you know, George.
I'm helping you because it's getting me closer to the killer. When I have sufficient evidence, I'll... Well, you know me, Bill.
And may the best man win.
You asked for this meeting.
I've told Ma Gurney that her son hanged himself.
Does she believe you?
She knows I don't lie.
And Turner? Where is he?
Safe house. They won't tell me where.
Can you lure him to a meet?
I can try. Tell me something.
What?
How did you contrive to be in that cell where Sean Gurney was locked up?
I was at the filling station when Gurney made his move. I heard the Indian phone the police. So I pulled a window box from the police station ledge.
They might have put you in another cell.
Oh, cells can't hold people like me.
How did you do it?
Why all the questions?
I like to know who I'm working with.
For what it's worth, I stunned him with a blow to the left kidney, and then I caused heart failure by applying pressure to the vagus nerve. Here.
To silence him?
Well, of course. Even if he'd succeeded in killing Turner, he'd have had to die. He was trash.
Here. Pyotr Andreevich Yasakov. I'm arresting you for the murder of Sean Gurney.
You're not still a policeman.
No. I'm a citizen, comrade. In this country, us citizens have the power of arrest. Shall we go? Aphoristor.
Even the maddest dog is mourned by its friend, the flea.
Yeah. You sure you got that right? This is a citizen's arrest, Pete.
Sure. First, I take Ma home.
Yeah. I'll come with you.
Okay, Ray.
It appears we've been used.
Well, that makes a change.
Pete.
What?
What did happen to your roller?
You wouldn't believe it.